Tutu. Well, that's a nice setup for our next guest. Joining me on the phone line is Ali Kazemian. Did I get that right, Ali? Hello,
Hi,
Ali.
Hi, Lou. Yeah, this is actually Kazemian.
Karzemian, thank you very much. Senior Research and Development Engineer for Contour Crafting Corporation in El Segundo. Contour crafting is a 3D printing method which is allowing us to build homes using, really, Ali, right? A fancy version of a 3D printer.
Correct.
Talk to us a little bit about this process and how it works and how you think this is going to change. I'm super excited about this. I've done a little bit of research on this. I've read quite a bit about it. I've seen a couple of projects, and this is really some unique technology and I think really cool.
Right. Contour crafting is basically a robotic construction system which was invented and proposed by Dr. Bero Kushnevich in 1996. So like more than 20 years ago. And as you said, it's basically a 3D printing system, but not a desktop 3D printer. You know, it is designed to print buildings and structures instead of small objects. And contour crafting, uses a gantry robot to deposit layers of concrete on top of each other again and again to create a structure in a short time. And we are talking about like printing a one-story building in less than 2 days. And one important thing is that in contour crafting process, there is no formwork involved, and this reduces the construction cost a lot. I'm sure you know that in traditional concrete construction, there's a lot of formwork, and 40 to 60% of total construction cost is related to these formworks. So we think that there could be, huge savings in time and cost by using an automated construction system like contour crafting. And also, again, because there's no formwork, there's no reason to limit the architects to boxy designs and straight walls anymore. Mm-hmm. There could be curved walls and very interesting architectural features at no additional cost. So I would say like freedom in design and architecture is another advantage of contour crafting.
Ali, 1 second. I want to just stop you for a second. Now, you mentioned the fact that with this process, there's no forms. Basically, it's like decorating a cake, but you're using concrete layer after layer after layer. But concrete, typically, when we're talking about traditional concrete, there's a lot of reinforcement where it comes to rebar or metal, webbing, and things like that. Does your process have that reinforcement, or is the process itself almost like a self-reinforcing concrete?
So that's a great question. Everyone asks us about the reinforcement. First of all, one approach that we have been testing and we're gonna follow for some of our projects, depending on the location, is having steel fibers already mixed with concrete. So we're talking about like 1 inch long steel fibers that have a very good bonding with concrete. They get mixed with concrete and then sent to our machine and included in our layers. So in regions where there is not a lot of seismic activity like Florida, there are actually a lot of buildings that they don't have any rebar. They use these steel fibers as a reinforcement. But of course, for like California, that this is not the case, and we need those rebars. And for that also, we have ideas. We print hollow walls. If you have seen those on our website, we are able to print hollow walls. So 2 layers are printed in parallel to each other, and there is a hollow space between them. And then after the building is printed, a cage of reinforcement of rebar is inserted in that hollow space, and then that space is filled with very flowable, self-consolidating concrete in order to have a monolithic, core to our 3D printed shell.
What about the strength of the concrete that comes out of this printer? Is it comparable to regular concrete, with the same kind of PSI strength that is in traditional construction?
That is true. In terms of strength and mechanical, properties, the concrete is not that different than traditional concrete. What is different is fresh properties. These layers, they are printed in a very short time on top of each other. And when you print next layer, the previous layer has to be able to sustain the load from the following layers. So it has to be a very viscous concrete that is able to hold its shape and the load from the following layers, as I said. So the rheology and the fresh properties of the concrete is very different than normal concrete, but the hardened properties not so much.
I gotta get out to see one of these things live because I've seen the videos and I'm just so intrigued by the whole thing. Do you all have a website where people could go and learn more about this whole process and this whole building opportunity? Because really the opportunity here, as you mentioned, because of the speed of which you can build, when we have the case of the wildfires in California or the hurricanes down in Florida where entire communities are wiped out. With the right kind of setup and the right equipment, I mean, you literally could be putting walls up for houses. In a matter of weeks, you could bring neighborhoods back to life.
That is true, right? So first of all, you asked about website. Yes, our website is contourcrafting.com, and the name of our company actually is Contour Crafting Corporation. And what you said, it's very interesting. Actually, like I said, there are two major applications that are really exciting for myself personally. One is to provide emergency housing, something similar to what you mentioned. After a natural disaster like earthquake or tsunami or fire happens, a lot of people lose their houses in a matter of seconds. And then a technology like Contour Crafting can build a large number of houses in a short time. And the second one is providing housing for homeless people. Like in LA, we have a large number of homeless people, and we are already having meetings with people from city of LA to see what we can do and to start a project, to provide permanent or short-term housing and shelter for homeless people to get them ready to enter the society and prepare for having a job.
Ali Kazmian is a senior research and development engineer for Contour Crafting Corporation. Their website is contourcrafting.com, correct?
Right.
Contourcrafting.com. Thank you for taking the time this morning. This is super interesting stuff. I really want people to go to their website and check it out because I think you'll find that this is such a unique opportunity. I hope that all of those things that you're looking into come true, Ali, that we're building homes for homeless people and we're helping people after disasters and really kind of changing the industry and kind of speeding things up and ultimately saving people money as well. Have a terrific weekend.
Thank you, Lou. Thanks for having me.
You got it. I'm Lou Manfredini. You're listening to House Smarts Radio. We'll be right back.